I'm recording this without a script. It is a few hours before Hytale is officially launching. I just wanted to do a little talk to the camera and talk about what this ride has been, what the future of the channel is, and kind of just my overall thoughts about Hytale. It's got saved, and I did a video right as it got canceled that ended up getting way more views than I would have ever expected because it was just a really intimate video of me talking to the camera. I almost cried in that video when Hytale got canceled, and over 10,000 people saw that. So I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think this video is going to get that many views, but yeah, this is a moment that I and probably a lot of you have waited for 7 years. I saw the trailer when it initially came out, and the second I saw it, I knew that this was, I always called it my ticket. I always said this is my ticket to content creation, and I always wanted to be a Hytale content creator. And so I worked through these years to become something of myself within the community, and I think I've done a pretty good job of that as of now. And we'll see how that goes when Hytale releases, but I never gave up on that dream. I always knew Hytale is going to be something bigger than everything else. This game is going to take over. I saw the potential. I knew that with content, there's going to be limitless opportunities. There's going to be a place for literally anyone to be able to do it. I grew up with Minecraft YouTube, as a lot of other people my age probably did. And I grew up wanting to be those people, but I was just too young to be able to go on the Minecraft train. And by the time I was able to make content, I mean, why didn't I, do Minecraft content the last 3-4 years or so? I mean, that was another big golden era. I just kind of fell out of love with the game. Even when the Hytale trailer came out, when I said this is my ticket for content, I had already kind of stopped playing Minecraft. So that was never really a consideration for me, but I always thought Hytale is something new, something that everyone can make a new start. And I mean, even after the cancellation, we've seen a few creators pop up here and there out of the blue who are hopefully going to also be able to make content with Hytale and grow successfully. And so that was always in my head. Every single day I woke up and I'm like, okay, there's no release date, so I'll just wait. It's always been a waiting game, and that's been the same for 7 years. But because this was the number one priority, ever since I saw the trailer, I never had a plan B. I always thought, okay, I'll do my IRL stuff. I'll go through school, go through work, whatever. Make sure I'm secure there. When I say I don't have a plan B, I mean, like, in my head for my future, this is like my dream, and I want to be able to follow that dream. And so I was doing the normal IRL stuff. I got my degrees, I got my work, I got a crazy portfolio. Thankfully, with my photography and videography, I was able to shoot some of the biggest stars in the world. T-Pain, for example, is one that comes to mind. So that's like not a concern for me, but it was always in the back of my head, like, I'll be doing this until Hytale drops, and whenever Hytale drops, I'm gonna drop everything else and really focus on that, because that's where my heart is, and it's always been. But because I had that mentality in my head, it always made me not commit to things in real life, because I knew that at any point they could release the release date and I would have to drop everything, because I was not going to let this opportunity fly past me. And so no one expected it to be this long. I thought, okay, maybe 3 years. That was actually the initial guess. I'll just kind of like idle, and then whenever that comes, drop out, or not drop out, but drop everything. And then delays happened, and then 2020 came, 2021, 3, 4, and every single time I was like, okay, I'll just do my stuff, but I need to know that I can drop everything. I need to be in a position where I'm able to do this so that I can fully commit. And so it's not been a positive mental space to be in. A lot of other people, people would probably say that's not healthy, that's not smart, that's probably a stupid thing. Just enjoy it, and then whatever happens, it happens. But I'm so stubborn with this idea, and that's why the cancellation was so hard on me, because for all of these years, my entire mindset was, I'll just like idle and then Hytale and then really commit, really go passionate into it. And when that was taken away from me, I felt lost. And thankfully that mindset was only for a little bit until Simon came. And even when Simon ended up tweeting and, giving a little hints that, hey, maybe we might save this game, it was still back then a 0.1% chance. Back then, the chances were so slim. I mean, this has never been done before. A game has never $200+ million sank into it, canceled, bought by a AAA studio, and then bought back to be indie again by a random guy, random, but like the old CEO, and then released again. This is gaming history. So, the mindset was not there that, yeah, of course it's going to get canceled. And there's going to be so many people in the comments that are like, oh yeah, I mean, it was obvious, of course it was going to get canceled, but you're just lying to yourself. Every single person I actually don't know a single person who was like, yeah, no, this is a sure thing. We all thought it was gone for good, and Simon was going to talk to Riot and they were going to leave him at the door. Maybe they were going to say hello, and that was going to be the end of it. And so, yeah, that mental mindset of like, okay, what did I kind of do with my life? You know what I mean? Like these years, there was never a day where I didn't think about Hytale. At least, obviously, there were so many droughts that it was kind of impossible to hard grind Hytale. Even though we did the Hytale podcast, we started that in 2023. That was 2023 and 4 were the biggest droughts in the Hytale history. And that's when we started doing a weekly podcast, which is still insane to think about. And we'll try to figure out how to continue doing the podcast when Hytale launches. Right now, let's just enjoy the game. But every day there was at least one part of the day where I was like, yeah, Hytale exists, or Hytale's going to be something. And yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there. But if you think so many, I mean, this is a third of my life now. If a third of your life is brought up with this idea, and maybe some people have a similar relation. Maybe it comes to a dream of being a musician, or a dream of I don't know what. And then say you always wanted to be a guitarist, and then for some reason your finger gets cut off and you just can't play a guitar anymore. It's like, I know it's a weird analogy, maybe not the perfect thing, but it's like, you had this dream, you were working up to this dream, and then it like actually just got cut off. And so that was the feeling I had. And so now that it's back, I feel more motivated than ever. And it's kind of a, like, you don't get this opportunity again in life. This is the most once in a lifetime opportunity where something so close to you is taken away, and now you're given a second chance, that there is absolutely no thought in my mind that content for Hytale is not going to work. I don't think it's going to work the first month. I don't think it's going to work the first year. But Hytale's not going away anymore. It's here for confirmed 10 years. Simon said the pre-purchases themselves confirmed funding for the next 2 years. So now it's just a moment of when. It's not a moment of if. It's just, when is it going to happen? And I'm going to ride this out. I don't care if it takes 50 attempts and years to be able to make this happen. It's been so important to my life that at some point it will work out. And I hope, I know that like in a few years, I'll be able to go back to this video and be proud of myself. Be proud of where I've come and where I was. I mean, going from the deepest of mental attitudes to finally making it. And so I don't know if this is manifestation. You have to be like kind of insane. Yeah, I think there is like definitely a bit of insanity in my head, in a lot of other friends that I have in the Hytale community, to think this way. And I think that insanity is gonna pull me through. And so I am so glad that I don't have to do news content anymore. When I originally started out doing Hytale content, my philosophy was, I'm just going to make content that I would watch. And back then, I read every blog, I read every tweet, whatever, any news that came out, I kept up with it. And so I never thought about, okay, why would I watch a 15 or 20-minute blog recap video if I can read the blog in like 5 minutes and waste my time with that? And so I initially started doing like blog post recaps in 60 seconds. This was even before YouTube Shorts came out. So it was like a YouTube short before a YouTube short, because I just thought, okay, you know what? I don't want to waste people's time. And so that series did, for my current growth standings at the time, did really well. And then blog posts stopped. And at some point I realized, okay, and then the postcards came, and I decided to do my own take on postcards instead of analyzing them. And they did okay as well. But at some point I realized that the way I was doing the content, I guess, wasn't really working. At least it wasn't favorable for YouTube. And unfortunately, the drought and the delays forced the Hytale niche to be very one-sided. You only could do this one style of news recap. And if you didn't do that, you just didn't have a successful video. So one day I just sat down. There was a new blog post. It was with the PvP, I think, some sort of combat thing where the two characters were fighting, and at the end you found out that one of them was actually an AI. And I sat down, I scripted a more classical Hytale video, and it absolutely blew up. And then if something works, you don't do something else the next time, you keep doing it. And so in a way I kind of conformed and just did those news videos, and every single time news videos came out, I covered it. But that was also at a point where everyone else had already left the scene. There was really no one else making videos. It was Quebec Corner, Canadian Flash, and I were the only English speaking YouTube channels. There was maybe a video here and there, but at the end of it, it was really just us three. And that made it justifiable again that I did these news content videos, just clarifying everything that happened, because so many people had forgotten about the game. So many people didn't keep up with the game. They didn't care anymore. And they just wanted, if they saw a video on YouTube about Hytale, keep up with everything, catch up on all the news, and then forget about the game for another few months because there just wasn't anything to do. And so that made it okay again that, like, if I was someone who was a Hytale fan and didn't really keep up with the game, this is a video I would watch. And it came to a point where, the only things that happened, we didn't even get blog posts anymore. It was John Hendricks, the game director, I think is his title, was just tweeting out things, and we would cover like 2 tweets. And it got to a point where I just decided to call it slop content. If you've been watching some of my recent videos, not the most recent ones, but some of the news videos, it was just reading tweets. And I hated it. I hated doing tweet videos, but it was the only thing you could do. It was only news, and that was the only thing that could perform. So getting away from that is truly a blessing, and you won't see me do tweet videos anymore. You won't see me do cover every single bit of news. There's 3 new mods or like 10 new mods here. There's going to be, Simon tweeted that he farted or something. Get it out of my head. The big stuff, the big major updates, if they add a new biome, if they add a new world, faction, whatever, the big stuff, the important stuff, I definitely will cover because it's important. But if Simon says like, yeah, no, we're adding a toggle to be able to turn your hat on and off, that's something we used to make videos about. It's not something I'm going to make a video about anymore. And so if you only came to this channel for news, I'm going to have to disappoint you. You're going to have to find a different channel. I know a lot of Hytale channels that were in the pre-release community. We're all straying away from news because we can finally play the game. And so the question now begs, what is happening now that we can actually play the game and Hytale is out? The next video that I'm going to post, depending on whether or not it's just my first hour of playing Hytale, which I think I'm going to post. But the next big thing that I'm working on is a Hytale iceberg. This is going to be probably over an hour long, and it's going to go over every single niche thing about the community, whether it's community jokes, whether it's reveals that happened, something only 10 people in the community know, something only 100 people know. If you're new to the game or have followed along to the game ever since the trailer, I think you're going to find something new in that video regardless. And so that's going to be like my big magnum opus to, set a new generation of videos. The big thing that I want to do is streaming. I've been streaming Hytale related stuff, obviously not Hytale, for the past few months, and I've had an absolute blast with you guys. And my main source of entertainment is watching streamers, and less so YouTube. And so that's really where I want to focus myself on, because I think my personality can shine the most whenever I am streaming, whenever I'm interacting with people. And at the end of the day, I don't know what my content's going to be, right? Because we don't have the game. We don't know what the landscape is going to look like. Maybe it's going to be challenge stuff. Maybe it's just going to be mod stuff, server stuff. I don't know. I'm going to try out everything. And the most important thing is I just want to make videos that make people smile and laugh. I want to be an entertainer. I want to make it so that if you come home from work or school, you can see a new video, you see my stream, you put it on, and it brings a smile to your face or it makes you laugh. That's the only thing that matters to me. So I'm straying less away from it's just a resource to give you information to I want to make my channel something that you can feel safe and welcoming in with my community. That's a big thing. I'm very happy with the community that I've fostered so far, in my opinion. No bias. I think it's the best community in Hytale, especially my Discord, which is link in the description. I'm not doing any ads in this video, obviously. But there's so many people that always tell me, like, I'm so glad to be a part of this community. I feel safe. And so regardless of who you are, what you are, your sexuality, your race, your, I don't know, hair color, I don't care who you are. You're welcome in my community, and I want to make sure that you feel welcome. And so anything threatening that, I want to keep out as much as possible, because that kind of goes against my philosophy of I just want to make content and have a community that makes people smile and laugh. So, by the time this video releases, I'm going to post this a little after Hytale's launch. I'm going to already have played Hytale. I'll be streaming every single day, or at least I'll try to. Really, I'll try my absolute best to stream every single day with Hytale, regardless of what it is. I'm not focusing too much on content. And this is the most important thing that I want to leave off with this video. If you've made it this far, it's not going to be as long as the Hytale canceled one, but we're encroaching on 20 minutes. The most important thing that I want to leave this message with you is just enjoy the game. Regardless of, once again, if you've followed along for 7 years, if you're new to the community for 2-3 years, or if you've just found out about it again because it's in the most hyped stage that it's ever been, just enjoy the game. You're never going to be able to play Hytale for the first time again. Think about your favorite game. Think about your favorite movie or song. Think about that first time you ever played it, watched it. You look back at that with so much nostalgia, and there's so many times where you wish I could play this game for the first time. Think Minecraft, for example. Your first experiences with Minecraft. You'll never be able to get that again, but you can do that with Hytale. So don't rush things. Don't focus too much on outside things. Just go into the game and do whatever you have fun in with video games, whether it be building cozy villages and farms, or it's exploring the world or dungeons or having fun with friends. Regardless of what it is, just enjoy it. And that's going to be my mentality, at least for the first 2 weeks. I'm setting January, these first 2 weeks aside, to not focus on the content grind. It's been the content grind ever since the pre-release, and it's going to be in the future. Like I said, I'm never giving up this dream. But for the first 2 weeks, I just want to play Hytale for the first time. I just want to have a fun time and share it with you guys. And then in February, after those 2 weeks, we can really go on that content grind. I'll try to make some of the best videos that you'll see in the Hytale space, things that other people aren't doing. I'm not going to try to be a copycat. Yeah, that's just the most important thing, because there's so many thoughts in my head that are like, okay, am I doing this the right way? Am I going to mess up this launch by not posting this many videos, not posting X topic? It just doesn't matter, because what really matters is enjoyment and having fun in the game for the first, because it's never going away. You can make content in 5 years about the game. You can make the content in 2 months, but you're never going to be able to play Hytale for the first time. So thank you guys so much for the support over the years. My personal goal, and I'll share this, it's an ambitious goal. I want to 10x my growth, whatever it is on any platform. If I experience 10x growth, so right now as I'm recording this, I'm going to check my subscribers right now. Even though subscribers on YouTube doesn't matter, my videos usually get more than my subscriber count. It's a pretty good metric to look at the very least. 4.5k subscribers. At the end of the year, we'll see if I'm at 45k subscribers. The Twitter's been blowing up. That's something I'll also talk about, which is just so funny. Every single tweet is just absolutely blowing up, which is like a lot of people might not care, but if you follow my Twitter, you know I'm kind of like addicted to Twitter, and I've always seen all these big accounts, and I'm like, damn, it'd be kind of funny to be one of those where if like you just like tweet Hytale poop, pee pee poo poo Hytale or something, and you get 10k likes. It's like how the hell do you do that? And it's just happening now. I can just tweet pee pee poo poo Hytale and it gets a bunch of likes, which just brings me a lot of enjoyment personally. But you know, Twitter's a terrible platform. Don't support Elon or whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to drag on this video. Thank you guys so much for the support over the 7 years. And I hope to make the best Hytale content for you guys. And I'd be appreciative if you continue supporting the channel. Thank you very much.